According to who am I a success or a failure? According to what standards? Who sets those standards? I think when we were kids, of course, it was probably our parents. It could have been our friends a little bit later on. It could have been their parents or teachers or coaches. But according to who am I a failure? I don't think that God necessarily calls us a failure because he always sees potential in us. Because he knows who he created. He knows what our leanings are, our gifts, our strengths, our weaknesses. He knows all about our experiences, environment. He set everything up. He's not surprised by anything. So if that's the kind of God that we serve, then he already knew that we were going to, quote unquote, succeed in certain people's expectations, in our own expectations, and in his. But he sets everything according to the potential that he left in us. He allows us to recognize how we can know the intimate details of his expectations for us, which is simply to be intimately involved with him, intimately interactive, to be deeply connected to him, to have a moment with him and another one, and to link those moments. Hey, somebody should write a book. Linking Moments by Kent Staples. But our purpose is simply to be intimately interactive with God. That's the first commandment. Some people only hear the second one, or they breeze by the first one. The second one's going to become easy only if the first one is intact. Love the Lord your God with all of your being. And then you can love your neighbors, because you'll know what love is. So that's a great question right there. If you ask 16 people what love is, guess what? You're going to get 16 answers. But God simply says it's recognizing my character and passing it on when we love others. But loving God is to embrace lovingly, to accept without exception his character, his names. Again, I love to tell this story. I took the time to read from Genesis to Revelation and look for names and characteristics, the activity of God, and list all of it. And it took me 75 double-columned pages. That's at the end of my book, Linking Moments by Kent Staples. But that's not to say that you should buy the book, but you should. But you can also, I got free ones here. Come by the house and I'll give you one. But also, your search should include all the names and characteristics of God. I think I mentioned on the last one that Psalm 91 has like 19 different names and characteristics, activities of God. I think there was the God as love is described in 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 7. And then the fruit of God's Spirit will always produce love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. There's a song, so that's what kind of comes out. Ooh, am I crazy? So do we need to appear crazy to the world? In a lot of cases, yes. But more importantly, the world doesn't get to judge us. At least we shouldn't allow the world to judge us. Our bosses either keep us or drop us according to their expectations. But our value isn't in what our bosses and friends, enemies, family members, church members. Our value isn't in what they say about us. In fact, Robert McGee in Search for Significance has a brilliant statement. It says, the lie is that our value is equal to our successes plus others' opinions of us. But think about it. That's how you think of yourself. My opinions of me and other people's opinions of me. My successes or failures, and then other people's opinions of me. If you take a few moments to reflect on that, when you think of yourself as the most valuable and successful, is it because of what your bosses, coaches, pastors, friends, enemies say about you? Or is it because of what God says about you? You see, if we're in Christ, there's tons of scriptures that tell you who you are. We're not called human doings, we're called human beings. And so our goal is to be in Christ all the things he says we could be. And what God personally calls you to, that calls for listening to his voice. That calls for being in his presence, intimately interacting with him, and with ears open. So that means there's going to need to be some time when our mouth is shut, some lengthy period of time to be still. When the TV's off, the phone is down, the laptop's shut, and all the other voices are stilled. And we accept who God says about us, that we're highly loved, that we're chosen, that he has a plan for us. He knows all the thoughts and actions that are going to take place, all that have taken place in our life. He wrote them all in a book before any of them came to being. I'm talking about Psalm 139. You should really read that and apply that to yourself. He formed me in my mother's womb, knit me together. And Jeremiah 29:11, it says he has a plan for me. His eyes are always on you. Even then, you know what I'm talking about. And so what he says about you is true and right. What other people say about you is their opinion, their perception from their experiences. So which one do you want? Do you want to listen to them or do you want to listen to God?